Can you imagine spending more than $3,000 on a smartphone? Well, that might soon be a real decision for some people because Samsung is gearing up to launch something very different, a tri-fold phone. While the idea of foldable devices is no longer new, a phone that folds not once but twice into 3 parts could be the next big step. And based on recent leaks, Samsung is preparing to release its first ever tri-fold device, possibly called the Galaxy G Fold, sometime in the 3rd quarter of this year, most likely around July. This release window could place it alongside the launch of the Galaxy Z Fold 7 and Z Flip 7, which are expected to be more mainstream models. However, the G Fold isn't being built for the mass market. According to the latest information, this new device will have a very limited release, with availability restricted to South Korea and China, at least initially. So if you're in the United States, Europe, or any other region, getting one might mean going through the hassle of importing it. And here's the part that really turns heads: the price. The Galaxy G Fold is rumored to be priced between $3,000 and $3,500 US. Yes, that's correct. It's in the same price bracket as Huawei's Mate X3, a tri-fold phone that launched previously. This kind of pricing clearly signals that Samsung is targeting a very specific group of users, early adopters who love cutting-edge technology and don't hesitate to pay a premium to be among the first to try it. So, what's so different about a tri-fold phone? Imagine a screen that folds in 3 sections, expanding into something close to a small tablet when opened. That would make it very handy for people who want more screen space for productivity, media, or multitasking without carrying a separate device. It's a design that's still quite rare, especially outside of China, so this could offer a totally new user experience. As for the specifications, not everything is confirmed yet, but there are some early leaks. One of the more disappointing details might be the charging speed. Reports suggest Samsung will stick with 25-watt wired charging. That's the same speed seen on some of its mid-range phones and way behind what competitors are offering in 2025. For comparison, Huawei's Mate X3 offers 66-watt wired charging and 50-watt wireless charging, which is far more impressive. Even Samsung's own Galaxy S25 Ultra supports up to 45 watts, and many users already feel that isn't fast enough. So if you're hoping for ultra-fast charging in this premium device, you might be a little let down. On the brighter side, the camera system might be quite strong. It's rumored that Samsung could reuse the triple camera setup found in the Z Fold 6 Special Edition. If that's the case, the G Fold might come with a 200-megapixel main sensor, a 12-megapixel ultra-wide lens, and a 10-megapixel telephoto lens. That combination would give the G Fold a clear edge in terms of photography, especially when compared to similar devices from other brands like Huawei. Of course, all of this is based on early leaks and unofficial information, so things could still change before the phone is officially revealed. Given the high price tag, limited availability, and unique form factor, the Galaxy G Fold probably won't be a device for the average user. But it does show how Samsung continues to push boundaries in the foldable market, aiming to stay ahead, in an area where competition is heating up fast. As we get closer to the expected July announcement, more details and leaks are likely to come out. If you're someone who loves to stay ahead of tech trends or just curious to see what Samsung's most experimental phone might look like, you'll definitely want to keep an eye out. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.
Can you guess which new smartphones are already being built and could be on store shelves sooner than expected? Samsung has officially started production of its next-generation foldable phones, the Galaxy Z Fold 7 and Galaxy Z Flip 7. Production reportedly kicked off in late April, just as planned, which means we're getting closer to the official launch. But this year, Samsung is making some noticeable changes that might surprise many fans. One major change is how many units they're planning to produce. Unlike previous years, Samsung is cutting back on the number of foldables it's manufacturing. For the Galaxy Z Flip 7, the plan is to produce around 3 million units. The Galaxy Z Fold 7 will be even more limited, with just 2 million units expected. That's a steep drop, about 40% fewer than what was made last year. So what's going on? The reason comes down to market demand. While foldable phones get a lot of attention in the tech world, they still haven't reached the mainstream in the way regular smartphones have. Many users are still unsure about switching to foldables, mostly due to their higher prices, durability concerns, or just personal preference. So Samsung is playing it smart by lowering its expectations and avoiding the risk of overstocking. That said, Samsung doesn't seem to be cutting corners on quality. Even with fewer units planned, the focus is on making the Fold 7 and Flip 7 more refined and better overall. Alongside the phones, Samsung is also producing official accessories like cases and other extras, which should be ready for launch day. There's also something else quietly happening behind the scenes. Rumors suggest that Samsung might launch a brand new type of foldable in 2025, a trifold device. This would be a smartphone that folds into 3 parts, offering even more screen space when opened. But this device won't be made in large numbers. Only about 200,000 units are reportedly planned, mostly because it will likely be expensive and aimed at a small group of users willing to try something new. Now let's talk about what kind of power these phones will have. The Galaxy Z Fold 7 is expected to come with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 for Galaxy, also known as the Snapdragon 8 Elite. This is the same processor used in Samsung's high-end Galaxy S25 series, so you can expect fast performance and efficient battery usage. The Z Flip 7, on the other hand, is still a bit of a mystery. Some testing units have been seen with Samsung's Exynos 2500 chip, but it's unclear whether that chip will be ready in time. If not, Samsung may choose to use another Snapdragon processor instead. In either case, performance should be solid. As for the design, there were a few wild claims floating around that the Fold 7 would be thinner than the Oppo Find N5, which folds down to just 8.2mm. While it's possible the Fold 7 will be slightly slimmer than past models, matching or beating the Oppo's size this year seems unlikely. Still, any design improvements are welcome, especially when it comes to portability and comfort. Meanwhile, Apple is working on its own foldable iPhone, which is rumored to launch in 2027. If that timeline is accurate, Samsung has a good 2-year head start to fine-tune its devices and gain more users in the foldable space. There are also whispers that Apple is dealing with supply chain challenges for the iPhone 17, especially related to providing 12 GB of RAM in all models. In contrast, Samsung is moving ahead without major delays, which puts them in a strong position for their mid-year release window. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Samsung's upcoming foldable phones, the Galaxy Z Fold 7 and Galaxy Z Flip 7, have been the talk of the tech world, with new leaks and rumors raising the anticipation for what's next. After the release of the Galaxy S25, Samsung fans are shifting their focus to these foldables, wondering if Samsung can finally perfect the foldable phone experience. If the latest rumors are true, we may be looking at some of the most impressive upgrades yet. One of the most exciting improvements expected is the display. The crease on foldable screens has been a major concern for users, but it seems Samsung may have found a way to nearly eliminate it on the Galaxy Z Fold 7. Reports suggest that the crease will be almost gone, with users barely noticing it during normal use. While it may still be visible under certain lighting conditions, this would be a major step forward in foldable technology, setting a new standard for the industry. However, there may be no major changes in screen brightness. Both the Galaxy Z Fold 7 and Galaxy Z Flip 7 are rumored to have a peak brightness of 2600 nits, the same as previous models. While this is still one of the brightest displays available, some users had hoped for an even brighter screen. It appears Samsung is focusing on other aspects of the user experience like improved audio quality. The Galaxy Z Fold 7 is expected to come with better loudspeakers, offering clearer and more immersive sound. In terms of performance, Samsung is expected to make these foldables more powerful than ever. Both the Galaxy Z Fold 7 and Galaxy Z Flip 7 are rumored to come with 12 GB of random access memory, RAM, as standard, providing a smoother